Okay, let's talk a little bit about blood clotting. Now, blood clotting is called hemostasis. It's where we're going to stop the bleeding and loss of blood. It prevents hemorrhaging in a typical situation. And if you look right here, it says that we have 3 different stages of hemostasis. First one is called vascular spasm, which we'll cover here in a second. And then we have platelet plug formation and the actual blood clotting that produces a blood clot of a protein called fibrin. So let's talk a little bit about vascular spasm first. When our blood vessels are damaged, they can be stimulated to spasm or close. All right, so they're going to vasoconstrict. So it says damage to the blood vessel stimulates pain receptors, and then we have a reflex of smooth muscle within our blood vessel that causes it to constrict. Now this can reduce blood loss immediately and for several hours until we can actually make a blood clot. So think of our blood vessel as just shrinking down, kind of shriveling up, stopping blood loss over a period of hours. Now this doesn't work for large blood vessels, like if someone has a compromised aorta, vascular spasm's not going to do any good. This would be for small arteries or arterioles that are in your skin or in other areas of your body where these blood vessels are very small. Now, following vascular spasm, we're going to form a platelet plug. And this involves the platelets or the thrombocytes. So it says that platelets store a lot of chemicals in their granules needed to make this platelet plug. I'm not going to have you worry about the different types of granules, but each of these granules can contain things like clotting factors, proteins that help cause the blood to clot. We can have growth factors that stimulate repair. So these fibroblasts are cells of the blood vessels that will stimulate repair. And so we can take these platelets, they can release proteins that help with the repair and the formation of a clot. Other granules down here, it says, can release ATP, serotonin to thin our blood, and some clotting factors like thromboxane A2 that we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. All right, so there's actually 3 steps to forming a platelet plug, and that goes to our Handout 19G. So let's go to Handout 19G, and if you look at Handout 19G, we're going to talk about these 3 steps. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so we can get a closer view. And the steps to forming a platelet plug involve platelet adhesion, platelet release reaction, and then platelet aggregation. So let's go over these a little bit one at a time. So platelet adhesion, it says the damaged endothelium, that's the inside of our blood vessel. So the damaged blood vessel, the tissue on the inside called endothelium, is going to be exposed and it's made up of collagen. All right. Now, collagen is a protein. We talked about it when we talked about bones. If you remember, the matrix of bones was made of a mineral and a collagen. So this collagen is a protein that also is making up the inside wall or endothelium of the blood vessel. Now this exposed collagen is going to activate platelets in that area. So it says platelet receptors bind to that exposed collagen and just start physically blocking the damage. So here you see these little blue circles are platelets. They are being attracted by this injury that has exposed the collagen. So that's the first step. We call that platelet adhesion. The platelets are adhering to the collagen and becoming activated. Now, the activation is called a platelet release reaction. So it says adhesion causes the platelets to become activated and they start releasing their proteins. It says the platelets will extend projections so that they can start contacting each other. They're kind of like holding hands, all right? So imagine that all these platelets around the site of injury, they've attached to the collagen, and they start activating and holding hands so that they can further block any blood loss. All right. Another thing that happens during platelet release reaction is the platelets release a protein called thromboxane A2. And thromboxane A2 is going to send a signal through cytokines to activate other platelets. So other platelets can come to this area, start being activated themselves. We can get more and more holding hands. Serotonin can also be released, and serotonin along with thromboxane can further vasoconstrict that blood vessel. All right. Then the next step is platelet aggregation. Platelet aggregation is just a continuation of this, where the platelets are going to stick together. They're forming more and more of a mass that we call a platelet plug. Now, once this platelet plug is formed, we are ready to make the actual blood clot, which is the third part of the blood clotting process. So it says our plug can be reinforced by this protein called fibrin. So the platelet plug is going to form by the activation of all these platelets, and then they are going to produce this protein called fibrin that actually makes the blood clot. Okay, so that's the beginning of our plug formation. It's the beginning of our blood clot. So the next handout is going to talk about the blood clot itself. All right.